Hello everyone, welcome back to Dragonfly Engineering. So it's been a really busy week this week, as you can see in the background. Mostly work for my day customers, so I don't have a lot I can show you. But I did want to introduce you to a really talented engineer who visits me every spring or so. He flies in with his family and sets up shop. So pretty interesting work that he does work that I could never attempt to make myself. So check him out, and I'll talk to you guys next week, or maybe a little bit at the end of the show. Enjoy. So this engineering master is the hooded oriole, and this bird and its family comes and makes a new nest in the palm tree in the backyard of my house every year. And it seems to be attracted to my house because I'm a Midwesterner who moved to California, so my house is loaded with palm trees. Anyway, so this is coming up here is a picture of the nest for this year. And I zoom in on it, you can see it's about 15 feet up in this palm tree. And the fibers that make up this woven nest are actually extracted from the palm fronds themselves. So you can see off on the right hand side a few long kind of tan fibers, and those are plucked and used to build this nest. So I was so impressed by that bird's engineering capabilities and manufacturing skill that I actually framed his handiwork here in the shop. So this is the palm leaf with his nest that he built in it, and got a lot of reflection in the glass. So I think we'll pull this palm leaf and the nest out of the box here. So here we got an up close of his engineering masterpiece here. You can see the highly woven fibers, which are, as I mentioned, the fiber from the Mexican palm leaf itself. So this stuff, they pluck all this fiber off and then create this elastic basket, which holds at least 4 birds' weight as the birds grow. And this basket also expands in size as the fledgling birds grow up and turn into birds basically the same size as the adults. So I've got a picture later on where both parents and I believe it was 3 birds. So that's 5 birds were hanging off of this basket or this nest. So if we flip this thing over, so actually before we do that, this one's a little tricky to see, but the pocket is basically underneath this area. And this nest I think was made but abandoned because there's no bird poop on it. So anyway, I think it was the bird practicing on how to refine its technique. But if we flip this over and rotate a bit, let me make sure we can see. Yeah, you can see. Okay, so in between the fronds here, or the veins of this palm leaf, which is effectively one big leaf, that normally when the bird would have made the nest, this leaf would have been fully green and more supple. But, you know, if we look in here, you can see how the bird has sewn in this palm fiber into the leaf structure itself. Now this bird only did it on a single axis, so the entire nest basically hinges upon that. Oh, well, actually no, here's another anchor spot. That's interesting. I haven't actually looked at this in too much detail. So the bird actually wove in an entire line of fiber to support the nest. And then on the other side, it created an anchor. Let me make sure you can still, yeah. It created this knotted anchor. And you can see how the fibers are actually woven into kind of an interesting knot structure. But they're woven in and out of the structure of the palm itself. And then if you look over here, you can see how the bird had started to make foundations for its nest. You can see that there's periodic holes. So here is a hole. Here is a hole. It's actually slit and then opened up into a teardrop shape. And then here's another hole, and then you can see more structural holes that the bird created throughout the other fronds. And these are the foundation that the bird then ties the nest into. So I am endlessly fascinated by this structure, the strength of it, the utility that it can expand as the birds grow, and the fact that it can hold 5 birds' weight. So the palm tree in the backyard has the actual nest that I recorded earlier this summer with the fledgling chicks. There was 3 chicks in there, plus the mom and dad. And there's also another example of a partially made nest, or basically an abandoned nest, which I can show you as well. So let's go in the back and take a look. All right, let's head up this ladder and see if we can find that partial nest. It's in one of these. Hopefully it's still here. I don't remember which frond it was in. Oh, there it is. So you can see that's the beginnings of the nest. So you can see how the same kind of anchor holes were poked through the palm frond there. And then you can see how the bird has woven its anchor supports for the rest of the nest and started the basket, or the structure of the basket. But he gave up on this one, probably because he saw that the frond was kind of falling apart there. And over here you can see another knot that was woven into the Mexican palm frond. And that's another anchor spot for the nest. So over here, this is the old nest, as you can see, that's in the video. And similar, kind of got these almost guy wires that support the nest into the frond. Anyway, that's a partial abandoned project, and the bird moved on. I've never actually seen this bird weaving in person, but I did surprise it once, and it kind of looked at me when its nest was about that state, and then he flew off. So it could also be that Sierra barks a lot and runs around in the backyard, so he may have wasn't sure about the situation, so abandoned the nest. You never really know. I've also seen how the bird has made a complete nest, or the male makes the nest, and then the female comes and inspects, and I witnessed her actually disapprove. So this is some footage of the nest in action, and that's the mother hooded oriole with the 3 chicks that have already hatched, and you can see they're sitting in the basket with all of them eating away. And then that's the male who flew in next to feed them as well. So these chicks, they only stay in the nest, or they grow from hatching to leaving the nest in 2 weeks. So they basically go from a tiny little bird to a full-size adult in 2 weeks. And in that 2-week period, the male and female birds basically continually feed these chicks non-stop from sun up to sundown, and it's quite a spectacle of just frenzied getting bugs and feeding these birds continually for a 2-week period.